everyone? It's Thursday, October 21st. This is episode 16 of Win the Week. Pumped to guys have you here today. Today, we've got an awesome interview that we're about to get into. Before that, make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. Instagram is win_the_week. Facebook group is Win the Week. Also, make sure you follow us on Spotify and Apple. And with that said, Joe, let's get into the interview.
What's going on, everybody? We're excited to announce we got an interview here with Jake Schulz. Jake is a sophomore third baseman at the Dixie State Trailblazers baseball team. Jake, welcome to the pod, bud.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Happy to have you. We usually get these interviews started with people. And, we've said this in some podcasts in the past, winning the week really does have a different definition and meaning for everybody, right? So I think it'd be great to hear from you. I mean, what does winning the week mean to you?
Winning the week can mean actually kind of depends on which way you break it down. But for me, I'd say it's being able to go to bed on Sunday night and knowing you got the most out of every single day and taking each moment piece by piece, not letting anything speed up on you. So really controlling everything that you can control and doing everything well. That's really what winning the week means to me.
Great. So I think it'd be beneficial for some of the listeners out there to just hear a little bit about, your story, right? So, you're from the Arizona area. You're now a sophomore. You guys are in Division I. Tell the listeners out there a little bit more about your journey.
So I grew up in a little bit of a smaller town of Prescott, Arizona. And for any kind of true baseball fans, Arizona has a reputation of being a hotbed for baseball recruiting. But that's more so like Phoenix and Scottsdale area. So me being from northern Arizona, that really put a chip on my shoulder early. And it kind of really pushed me, honestly, to get where I'm at and kind of prove a lot of people wrong. But more of like my background, I grew up youngest of three. I have two older brothers, and parents Gary and Sylvia. Dad's a retired police sergeant, mom's a hairstylist. But honestly, didn't grow up having a ton, and honestly, super thankful for that.
Yeah.
Parents are hardworking, kind of steered me in the direction with where I'm at.
I'd say also, I'm assuming, growing up the youngest of two older brothers, I'm sure they kind of gave you a little bit here and there growing up too, and kind of got you hard-nosed, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. It started from basketball at the park, and kind of normally would end up in a fist fight probably twice a week, but shaped me into who I am for sure.
That's great. And so obviously you're playing baseball now. Was that the only sport you played? I heard you mention the basketball court. What are some of the other sports you played, if any?
Yeah, I grew up playing baseball and basketball mostly. My mom wasn't a big promoter of the football with the head injuries and stuff. But, I kind of grew up playing it all, honestly, the most baseball and basketball. And then eventually stopped playing basketball competitively in my sophomore year in high school. I just wanted to zero in on baseball.
So with baseball, as your high school career developed, what was the interest like for recruits in college? Were you getting a lot, or were you kind of more unknown, or what did that look like for you at the time?
Yeah, so the baseball recruiting process starts really early. Like you see actually in every sport now, but you see guys committing, even a verbal, even like as young as like the 8th grade. So I remember I played on a pretty elite travel team growing up through high school. Kind of all these kids were committing to these Pac-5 or Pac-12 schools, Power 5 conferences, and I'm still kind of sitting there not knowing where I'm going to go. So I ended up committing to Dixie State my sophomore year in high school, which is still fairly early. But like I said, growing up in Prescott, Arizona, I had to drive down to Phoenix probably anywhere from 3 to 7 times a week for about 2 years straight, just to kind of get seen. Because like with baseball and actually all recruiting, kind of scouts are only going to go where it's the most convenient for them with budget or whatever reasons they have. But so I was driving down. I don't even wish I could count how many times I've been. But ended up in Phoenix quite a bit, tried to get recruited, and ended up working out.
Yeah. So I know you mentioned, the youngest of 3 brothers, very hardworking family, about an hour plus ish from, the big city, the big Phoenix city, where that's where all the notoriety is and such. How would you say that kind of shaped you into the person that you are today?
Honestly, like it's really hard to put it. It's like I said earlier, it's that chip on your shoulder. And I think me growing up, especially being the youngest of three, and kind of honestly been counted out quite a bit on my whole baseball career, is just from being from Northern Arizona and not being really super highly recruited or something like that. That's like super known. So having that chip on my shoulder for sure, it's definitely shaped me.
Yeah. I mean, I think, that's definitely a great way. Listen, you're going to get, what Mike Tyson say, it's not a fight until you get, hit in the face, you get hit in the mouth. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I mean, it's good that you're able to, get over some of those challenges when you're younger, because it's only going to get harder, right? Throughout the 100%. Process. So I think it'd be cool for you to kind of listen. I would assume not a lot of our listeners, ever really played college baseball or were a college athlete by any means. So, what does a typical week kind of look like for you? You guys are getting ready for your season to start up in a few weeks. I mean, what does a typical Monday through Friday and then the weekend kind of look like for you?
So the NCAA, I think the rule is you have to have one day off. So normally that's a Sunday for us, but average Monday
rest day, like that.
Yeah. We're waking up at 6 a.m. for weights. You get there about 15 minutes early so you can stretch out, get your body right. And so you got weights from 6 to 7:15ish usually. And then you're staying after getting there before for your recovery work. So you got that. And then my classes are Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I'm going to class from 9 a.m. to roughly 11:30. And then after that, usually I like to meal prep. I like to stay like eating clean. Kind of, if I don't, I feel kind of icky.
Yep.
So normally it's some sort of protein and a veggie or like a grain. And then so go to the field normally about 2 hours early. Practice starts about 2:30 usually. So I'm at the field about 12, eat my lunch. And then I go through early work with another one of my teammates. So Monday is normally a ground ball day. So working a ton on defense, just kind of work out all the little stuff. And then 2:30 rolls around, you got your team practice. And then 2:30, roughly 5:30-ish, get out of the field, shower up. And normally it's straight to study hall, grab a bite to eat, and do it all over again the next day.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a jam-packed day. I mean, being a student
100%.
athlete, you got to juggle, obviously trying to get as good as you can on the field, but then you have those classes too.
Right.
So time management's definitely important is what it sounds like.
Yeah, 100%.
And Jake, so since you guys are, D1 now and, you got a big season coming up here, we'll ask you this, what are you most excited about or what are you looking most forward to for this upcoming season?
Man, I can't wait I think it's February 18th. We open up at Arizona State this year. And for me personally, it's a big one because ASU is somewhere where I really wanted to go out of high school. And growing up, you're always hearing about the Sun Devils. And they passed on me. So that's a big one for me. I'm really excited to go there. And a lot of family and friends will be out there and should be a good experience. But honestly, I think we have a really good shot to win the WAC this year, the way the conference is built. And I really like where we're at. So just getting after this season, see where it takes us.
Well, that's awesome, man. And Jake Schulz, guys, watch out for him this season. He's going to have a big year. Dixie State Trailblazers, going to be an exciting season. We're super pumped that you were able to come on and share your story, man. It was awesome to learn about you and your journey and some of the things that are important to you. One more question I'll ask you before we get out of here. With Win the Week, we do have these 10 ways to win the week, right? So it could be, diet, working out, meditation, sleep, hydration. What are maybe 2 or 3 things that you think help you win the week most if you had to put it into 2 or 3 categories?
I was looking at the sheet earlier. It's really tough to put all those because winning a week is really kind of dominating all those facets for me. I'd say the meditation is definitely up there. Having a clear mind it's pretty vital. It's if your mind's not right, you're not going to be right. So I'd put meditation up there for sure. Next would go diet, and man, that's a tough one. Got to say hydration, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, for sure. I'll say this, I think I think it's interesting that you say meditation, because I would say, the feedback that we've gotten from some of the listeners out there is that's the one where people, really feel like they can improve in that area.
Mm.
Is there maybe any tips or anything you could kind of give to some of the listeners, since it sounds like that's such an area that you really focus on?
Yeah. So I wouldn't say struggle with anxiety, but kind of been new to it. Like this, I think it's honestly kind of a mix from just being such a packed schedule and not cutting enough time out for yourself. Kind of takes a toll on you a little bit. And I think that happens to a ton of people. So really just making sure that you give yourself enough time to make sure your mind's right. I downloaded, I think it's called Headspace. Even if you're doing it for 5-10 minutes a day, just giving yourself time to breathe, reset, and a little like mental thing that we talk about at Dixie for baseball is getting yourself back to green. So there's green, yellow, and red. And, yellow's like things are all right, could be better. Red's your crap. I hate this. I don't know what I'm doing. Life's a mess. And your green is just clarity. And that's kind of where life comes easier and you're in your flow. So I'm trying to keep my mental phase in the green, and I don't know, really helps out.
For sure. Well, hey, we appreciate you kind of sharing some of those tips for our listeners out there. Getting back to green. You hear that, guys? Get back to green. It's easy as that. Yellow's okay. We want to be in green. Red, no. So, Jake, thanks again for coming on. Why don't you tell the guys and gals out there what your social is on Instagram so they could get at you? And I mean, you guys got a very fun schedule this year. We'll definitely be keeping toll. So what is the social for you?
My Instagram is at Jake_Schulz23, spell Schulz, SCHULZ. And my Twitter is the same thing.
Perfect. Easy enough, man. We'll be tuning in and watch you guys kick the Sun Devils' butt out there, man. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yes, sir.
We're looking for a big game out of you.
Absolutely.
And that was Jake Schulz, third baseman for the Dixie State Trailblazers. Jake, we're expecting a big year out of you, and we're looking forward to the different ways that you're going to be able to win the week. With that, guys, we're going to see you again next Tuesday, October 26th. Have a great weekend. Close the week out strong, and we'll see you soon.
And we about to win the week. Hey.